let's not sugarcoat it. Last night was not a good game for Penn State.
Last night was. There are different ways to lose, and you and Dick Girardi have told me that for the last few years. I've been able to work with the two of you.
Yeah.
And last night was a new one where you don't score for the first 6 minutes and 30 seconds of the game. You have multiple layup attempts and you just fumble the ball. You have multiple entry passes. You let go of it. You have multiple turnovers, 10 first half turnovers, 20 first half points is not a recipe to do anything.
No,
it's cool when you score 50 something in the second half, but when you're so deep in the hole, you can't climb out of it.
Well, what's something we talk about, Dick and I talk about all the time, or Jack Ham and I talk about it all the time? Play with the lead.
Mm-hmm.
So you're at home. You get, if you're the team, if it's flipped and Penn State goes out to the 11-0 lead, okay, Rutgers hasn't won a game on the road this year.
No.
They're not coming back. Okay? Well, now you're the team at home where you should be the one out there taking the lead. And I think I came out of the break where it was 11-0, and I said, essentially, Penn State's wasted the first 6.5 minutes of the game.
It's gone.
I thought that was pretty blunt.
Yeah. Pretty spot on.
But I didn't really know what else to say about it because that's the way it went.
It was such a shockingly, I'll say it, it was a shockingly bad performance. We've seen Penn State not play well this season, and we've seen it on defense and offense at times, but to that extent, where it was just missing players on every single cut on defense, and it was bad fouls, and it was dropping entry passes on the offensive side, and it was it was stupid mistakes.
Giving up easy baskets because in order to come back, you have to get stops, and you finally climb back to within 8 places. Got a little buzz. Hey, you might get a shot here, and then you give up something. You're like, oh, I mean, to me, my opinion, it was the second worst loss of the year. And the reason, they're like, well, what was the worst one? And people go, what about Michigan, Indiana? No. Okay, you're playing on the road. Michigan's the number 1 ranked team in the country. You've got people that are out. You've got no shot. And you really have essentially no shot in the game like that. The other number was Pitt. Because, to be honest with you, Pitt is not a good team. And Penn State was not competitive against Pitt. Now, when you look, what's interesting is, though, which situation would I rather have, Pitt's or Penn State's? I'd rather have Penn State's, and here's the reason why. Pitt's not really a good team, and they're old. They're an older team, and they're not really good. But they took Penn State apart. To me, that was the worst one of the year. This one, it was the one right behind it, because this is a game that I felt Penn State was going to win.
They were favored. We talked about it yesterday. Ken Pom had them winning, I think, by 4 or 5. It was such an inexplicably bad start that we were watching. And I remember it went into the break. And I sat there and I was like, I truly don't know what I just watched. It looked like the players, as you and Dick said in the broadcast, it looked like they just got off the plane back from Eugene, and they got there and they all were stuck in mud. Like they all were just not there. And I think it was the first play on offense. I don't remember if it was Caden or who it was who threw an entry pass, and it was just dropped immediately. The first thing that happened was that, and then Rutgers gets out and runs after the alley-oop to start the game 6 seconds in. And it's just, those two things happened back to back. Rutgers got out to a lead, and they played Penn State at the end to make it a close game. That's how they played it, they played so poorly down the stretch that it was like, we talked about it, where Rutgers played Penn State into the game. Penn State lost by 13. They really should have lost by more if Rutgers had kept their foot anywhere near the gas pedal. Instead, they were hitting the brake thinking, oh, look at that, I'm going back and forth, hee-haw, this is fun. They were bad. And Penn State was worse. I can't.
I'm not going to sit there and say I can put my finger on as to why. Yeah, for example, they've struggled defending the 3 this year, and it hurt them at Oregon. But the 3 didn't hurt them last night. Yeah, I mean, Zerno went out and he hit 3. He was 3 of 9. I think they hit 5 all night.
They were 5 of 16, right, 30%, like, whatever.
Like you can live with that. That's fine, right? But they were 68% in 2s. And they're a team that for the season is 46% in 2s. Like, you know, and then offensively, kind of felt like they were, you know, in the first half, they were in the phone booth. In the second half, they had spacing and they made plays and they got steals and they got points off of takeaways. And like, okay. You know, and one time Hauser came out, set a screen. It's like, you know, and I even said in the broadcast, get out of there. All you're doing is bringing another person in there. All right. So it's, boy. Nebraska's next. Nebraska lost to Iowa Tuesday night, 57-52. Sturts was great. I mean, and not, like, offensively was decent, but his defense was excellent. Price Sanford. And against Sanford, he really kind of kept him at bay. What was interesting is that Fred Hoiberg only played 7 people in that game, which tells you how he's going to play the NCAA tournament.
7 rotation.
He will not play 7 people on Saturday. And don't be the cynic that sits there and goes, well, that's because the game's going to be just like, yeah. Okay? He's going to play more than 7 people in the first half of the game because he needs to give his top 7 guys some break at some point. So there may be 2 other guys that play in the game and probably be a 9-man rotation. I would say on Saturday, the game will be sold out, even when they're not good. Because I've been out there when they've been good, and I've been out there when they haven't been good. They still sell out, and especially on a Saturday afternoon. So there'll be big crowd there for that. Team is going today because of Thon. I mean, there's no real place for them to practice. They can't really practice in Rec Hall. South Gym is needed for men's volleyball, and the main gym is needed for wrestling.
So they're heading out early to Omaha.
So and you really can't go over the IM building and practice. I mean, because now you're tossing people off the courts to do that, and so they don't want to do that. Thanks for listening to Sports Talk with Steve Jones. Catch the latest from me on the 7 Mountain Sports YouTube page. Find clips of the show on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook by searching up 7 Mountain Sports.